just want to add, with the video that you're watching right now, yes, Chelsea ended 2-2 against Arsenal, and Tottenham drew against West Ham. So going into this, that was my predictions for these 4 games coming up for the 4 teams going into Europe. Uh, so what you're watching is a couple of days before those games happened. So I just thought I'll say that for that. So going into the next 4 games, Leicester, if they still want to go for Europe, which I think isn't too much of a hard task. We're only 4 points out, and we sort of have a good set of where we're going. On the next 4 games, I'll go throughout the next other teams above us as well. Our next 4 games: Chelsea, Watford, Everton, Swansea. We all know what Swansea's sort of form has been like. They've got a new manager now, but those are, apart from Chelsea, those are all winnable games. Everton have really come back onto form though, so that'll be an interesting game. Watford as well, losing there, but they're all winnable games. Apart from Chelsea, I don't think we'll win at Chelsea one bit. But then above us is Burnley, and they have Palace, Man U, Newcastle, and Man City. A lot more harder, I would say, teams to play, especially we all know how Crystal Palace played against Man City and making them lose their 18 unbeaten run, I think, by drawing to them. So they're going to be an interesting opposition for Burnley. I also think Man U's going to be hard for them. Newcastle not so much, and we all know what Man City have been doing because they've just destroyed the Premier League, literally. So maybe not as hard as what Leicester's got at the moment, but I still think somewhere around there, Man U they might slip up at, and probably Man City, because nearly every team who's played Man City has slipped up. Then we've got Tottenham, they've got West Ham, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal. They've also got a couple of league games in between that, so it's depending what Pochettino does and what team he sets out for them league games. Not league games, cup games. Anyway, I think Everton, West Ham, and Southampton all should be winnable for Tottenham. Arsenal, it's always interesting because it's the local derby, so who knows really where that's going to go. I would probably put my money on Tottenham, but how Arsenal did play against Man U, they did play really well. Defensively, Arsenal aren't great though. They haven't been for a long time. Not. So I think Tottenham will have a bit more of a easier run-in with games, just all depending what teams he sets out during the league. Now, Arsenal is the interesting one. They have semi-finals coming up in the EFL Cup. They also have other cup games and Europe to deal with soon, not now, I don't think. But they've got Chelsea, Bournemouth, Palace, and Swansea. Chelsea, I don't know about that one. I don't know if they'll win that. But again, Chelsea's form's been very hit and miss this season, so by no shadow of a doubt am I saying that they're not Chelsea are not a good team, because they quite clearly are. A player with Ian Hazard's quality, you are not doing anything. But I don't think Arsenal will win that game. all the rest are perfectly winnable games for Arsenal. So, going into the next 4 games, I see Leicester picking up points at Everton and Swansea. Watford and Chelsea are going to be our most hardest games coming up. That's where we need to pick up points at the teams that we should win against, but Leicester tend to do really better against the more bigger sides, and then seem to do worse against the more smaller sides. Even though, in theory, in the Premier League, there is no like definition of not very good and very good. It just really, really all depends what team comes up on that set day. Because the Premier League is just one of those leagues where it's just so incredibly hard. So I see 6 points, a possible 9 if we win against Watford. But I'm unsure. I'm unsure about Watford. Let me know what you think. I think Leicester have a good opportunity to get some points in the next 4 games, but teams around them also have opportunity to get points. Burnley have the more fixtures coming up a bit more harder. Arsenal are going to be stretched thin, I think, because they have a lot of cup competitions coming up, and so do Tottenham, but not as badly as Arsenal. So it's going to be out of Tottenham and Leicester, really, I think, coming up. Who's going to push for that European place? 4 points in between that all. One team loses. Out of those 4 teams, it is that tight at the moment. Up at the top of the Premier League, you lose one game, you let somebody else climb above you and get that extra 3 points. You've had it. So I think Leicester should do well, but won't be perfect, I don't think. I'm even thinking Swansea might be a bit more harder, seeing as they have got that new manager now. Got their first win under them as well for a long time. So they're all hard matches coming up, but they all have their differences, if you get my drift. Chelsea's going to be the hardest game coming up, and I don't see us winning. Watford, a draw probably. I would like a draw, but I would like us to win it as well, obviously, because I'm a Leicester fan. Everton probably, I would like to hope see a win, and Swansea, I would like to hope see a win. So that's my 2 cents. I think games coming up for us are going to be interesting. I think the other games around us with teams playing, I think Burnley and Arsenal have the most interesting fixtures coming up, especially with Arsenal, seeing as they've got cup competitions coming up, so they'll be a bit stretched thin. It'll be a push. It really will be a push this year to get into Europe, if we get into Europe. Who knows? That's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you another time.